Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Choose Only One Work by composer X, it would have to be Work You. Well, Work You. Well, let's start with composer, shouldn't we? Yes. Composer X, Hindemith. God, I love Hindemith. That was my first master's thesis, was on Hindemith. I love Hindemith. Hindemith was a wonderful composer, a real musician's musician, somewhat clunky. He had his little quirky bits and things like that, but boy, could he write music, and lots of music, just gobs of music. And the work in question is maybe not what you expect. Well, I didn't see a lot of you sort of screaming for a Hindemith talk or suggesting what the piece ought to be when we do Hindemith. But there are masterpieces, as we all know. There's Matthäus der Mahler, both the symphony and the opera. There's the symphonic metamorphosis on themes by Weber. There's the concert music for strings and brass. There's the violin concerto, which is just amazing. There's the cello concerto, which is just amazing. There's the Kammermusik, fabulous. There's all kinds of chamber music. Oh my goodness, chamber music coming out the wazoo. And I haven't chosen any of those. No, my friends, the choice, the one, the only, the inevitable. Get my sleeves up here because you need to have sleeves up to talk about this. The Symphony in E flat. The piece that nobody knows, and it is a screaming masterpiece. It is one of the great masterpieces of 20th century symphonism, and it's all the greater because German symphonies, when Hindemith wrote this in the 40s, about then, there weren't any. Really, aside from Karl Amadeus Hartmann, who came later, German symphonists were not thick on the field. And really, the only first half of the 20th century major German symphonist that anyone cares about is Hindemith. And he was, his symphonies, either they came from operas or, most of them had some other sort of programmatic element, although the Pittsburgh Symphony is just a symphony. And there are a few others, although it has a title. But this one, Symphony in E flat, is just Symphony in E flat. And it is in the grand tradition of German symphonic writing. It is in cyclical form. It has motives that he works with. It has a very interesting structure, actually, because the first movement is this unbelievably vital, it's 6 minutes long, roughly, really short, peppy, almost neoclassical. It really is. An extraordinarily heroic, energetic piece of music. It's absolutely stunning, especially the way Leonard Bernstein plays it. He recorded it. And wow, what a wonderful recording that is, by the way. There are really only two great recordings of it. There's Bernstein's and then there's Tortelier on Chandos. Those are the two. All of the others are okay. Some of them are okay. The one on CPO is okay. Adrian Bolt did it. Ugh. Clunky. And German conductors, they make it just such a bump and fart and Kapellmeisterish, stiff, rhythmically flatulent. Oh, it's just horrible. It can sound that way. Hindemith can be that way. He really can. But if you play it with Star Wars-like emphasis, which is how you should do it, it's just unbelievable. And that first movement is exciting as hell. And then you have a funeral march led by the brass on a beautiful tune. Ya-da-dum, dum, ba-da-da-dum. Well, never mind. It's a Hindemith tune. It's actually based on a tune from the first movement, if you're listening carefully. And then you've got a really cool scherzo, which is based on the same tune as the funeral march. Speed it up. Do, do, boo-do-do-do, boo-boo, do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. And it has a root part. A ruta in German, which is a bundle of twigs you hit the bass drum case with. It's going with a pastoral trio section, and then a march-like finale, a quick march. Bum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-da-dum. It's a very, very Hindemithy kind of march. And it rises to this enormous, powerful climax with a thrilling conclusion. It's about half an hour long. It's just amazing. And it's entirely typical of Hindemith's mature style. Totally typical. And I like doing these things when we present them to the evil god Cankresans so that he won't destroy every other piece of classical music, because I can say to him, look at this. This is a masterpiece, and it's not even one of the familiar ones. I mean, it's not even one of the most popular ones. Don't you want to hear the more popular ones? Don't you think we should hear the more popular ones? We should, but we should also give this piece its due, because it is unquestionably a work of genius, and I just wish that it were played. I mean, it doesn't get played. It just doesn't. And so if classical music is destroyed and this piece goes with it, it'll never get played. And it has to get played. For heaven's sake, go home and listen to it. It's amazing. It's a thrilling, thrilling piece of music. It's expressive and intense and rhythmic and heroic, and it's got everything going for it. I really mean it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.